So, and I guess the other question you would ask me is defence-wise. Now, I'll stick to patrol boats because I'm not a Navy man. I was never known to mix with them. But the reality is that with a changing world, and this is probably even more important than that potential catastrophe, because this one is definitely on the table. It's happening right now, where we have security of the homeland, where we have patrol boats and other ships patrolling our perimeter in our area to the north and the west in particular, looking for illegal migrants and poaching and fishing. And that has to be an ongoing thing, because even though we might not have had any boats, the potential is there any day for it to happen with another catastrophe somewhere overseas where we get more boat people. And so Cairns plays a very important part in that in regards to port. We have patrol boats there. But I would say to you and to anybody listening that as time progresses, the world's not going to get any better. And the security of our homeland will become even more of a priority and more intense. And that will place great more effort on the Navy in particular. And that means more boats, and that means more improvement and enhancement of the Cairns Harbour. And as those boats get bigger, then we must allow for that too. Otherwise, strategically, we're going to turn around and say Cairns doesn't have the ability to carry out with the future class boats or whatever they are, because we're not deep enough, we're not big enough. It's as simple as that. It's as important as that.
Absolutely. And not only, well, in conjunction with our, this dire need for expanding into the future for defence, we also have the fact that the fuel ships, for instance, are getting bigger and bigger. It's only a few short years away that the ships that service us weekly from Singapore with our fuel supplies, they're going to be out of service in a few years' time. And the bigger ships with our current, the current depth of our channel, they won't be able to come in efficiently, so they will go to Townsville. And our fuel would then potentially have to be trucked up from Townsville, putting even greater pressure on our highway between Townsville and Cairns.
Well, absolutely, but that's happening now.
Absolutely.
That's happening now, and I don't think the community are aware of that.
No.
That there's more increasing movement on that road with stores and equipment, and economically that's not sound either, from costs and movement and the maintenance of the only highway that we've got, and of course the rail. But you wouldn't get an argument from me on that one. And certainly it has to be looked at, particularly, as you say, the ships get bigger. To cater for this, we need to enlarge it. I mean, it's repetitive, I know, but it's pretty essential stuff.
And so how long have you been in Cairns now, George?
We built here in '84, but prior to that, I was very much involved with the military. In fact, my area of responsibility, my formation was responsible from all the way down to Mackay, Gladstone, from Gladstone south to the Torres Strait and the Gulf. So we covered a pretty big area, and so and in doing that, we were very much involved in the embracing reconnaissance and surveillance, which is now defined more as a home, the home protection and so forth.
Border force.
It's a big, vast area.
Massive.
A big, vast area, and all the more reason why. Again, if you go further north, I'm teaching you all what you already know about geography. There's one bloody road up there, virtually. And very limited airports. One at Cooktown, one at Cowan, one at Bamaga, with limited capacity. And that comes back to the port on what it can do and can't do. And you know, back to the ships. I mean, one of the I've been in a few cyclones military-wise for helping out, and one of the critical things is always water, water and sewage. But water, you know, gets cut off, and ships are the ideal thing to provide overnight. But you know, more so when the rains have stopped and so forth. But yeah, they play a pretty important role, and I think morale-wise, when you've got kids and women, that more than likely in that sort of situation will be evacuated, and the only way out is by sea. Has to happen.